Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Today we will design a bracelet using Bargain Bead Box subscription for the month of July 2024. I know I started with the bracelet. Normally I start with the necklace and then go from there. This time I just thought I will start with the bracelet. And this is the pattern that I came up with. These barrel beads that we received in the box. And this gemstone. This is a man-made gemstone. I don't remember the exact name, but see this, we received one strand of these ones and a small strand of this blue ones. First I thought I will just do the blue and the red. That looked kind of good, but then I want that color to break a little bit. I wanted to add that brown, so I added the brown. So I'm thinking I will add a brown here too. It's just what I feel. There is nothing wrong or right in what we are doing. It is just how you feel it right. So when it comes and joins, it kind of looks good. That's what my thought process was. So I'm gonna have these ones. Just I'm picking the ones which has the red and the brown for us. So over here, these are 8mm rounds and these are barrel beads. I think this is good enough because I'm going to include a button, a toggle clasp, and not the bar, and leather. So the leather wise, I thought first I will use a red, but I don't want to go with the red because it will be a monotonous color, which I don't want to. So I'm just going with this darker color, and you need at least 8 inches of the leather to make the knot. Okay, so at least this much leather, maybe 9 inches I would take because I don't want it to be less. I used to always cut less. So this is a 2mm leather bead landing brand from Michaels. So this is what it is. So we shall hold that for now and see if it looks good for you. Okay, there will be this at one end and this at one end, so you should like what you see, right? So I mean, I feel like this should be at this end and this should be at this end is what I feel. No, not really. This at this end and this at this end. So you need to figure this pattern out, whichever pattern you like. So I just added one here. No rhyme or reason. Maybe this brown is a little too much. Maybe I should take this one right here. Okay, kind of. I don't like that as well, but you have multiple options in this thing. So I like this, so I'm just going to go ahead with that. So you need crimp tubes or crimp beads. Let me just find mine. So I got the Beetlon 2x2 crimps, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add one. Okay, and then go through the shank part of the button. Okay, come back. I mean, hold on. Okay, by the way, I'm using bead stringing wire. This is soft touch soft flex medium, and it is a 49 strand bead stringing wire. You can use any bead stringing wire you have available in your stash, but for a bracelet they normally recommend 49 strand because it accumulates a lot of wear and tear. I mean, 19 strand is ideal for necklaces. So I come back through this, okay, and then push it all the way to the end. Okay, the tendency of the wire is to crisscross inside the bead, so make sure, but don't make this loop very small, because if you do that, this has a wider part, right? So the wider head, so it won't sit properly. See, it's already heading towards one side, So I have the crimping pliers in my hand. There is 2 divots in here. The one that is closest to the handle is the first one that I will use, and then I squish that with the pliers. It separates that 2 wires, and then go ahead and do it one more time, and then go with the first one vertically, and then try tug it in and see if it is nice and secure. If it is, you're done. Just move the bead on top of the short tail if you can, which I can. My beads have nice and big holes, so I don't have to worry about that. So otherwise you can cut it always. That's always an option. But there we go. It goes nicely. I still work with the spool. I don't actually like to cut it beforehand, as you guys already know. And this is about 6 inch and 1.5. Like, I need a 7-inch bracelet, so this is about 6 inch. We have to take into account the toggle and the leather part, so that should be good enough. So I'm just gonna snip it off here, and then again take my crimp tube. Okay, just make sure the crimp tube doesn't go through the barrel bead. Add the toggle part, not the bar part, the toggle part of the toggle clasp, which we also received in the box. Take your pliers. If it is very short, you can just go with the pliers and insert it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna insert through the crimp tube and take it out, kind of, so that I can secure it nicely. Okay, keep it in a round format. That's how the bracelet is going to sit, right? So keep it in a round format. Make sure that it is nice and flexible and we have enough space. That's what is very important. Okay, so we don't want this to be stiff, so make sure it's nice and flexible. Leave that much distance. It's okay if there is a little bit of a breathing space. I always recommend the breathing space. Then go ahead and crimp. Then go ahead and crimp with the top. And then take your wire cutters and snip off this excess wire. If you can actually put it inside the bead, but I'm gonna snip it off, which I did. And see if you can see there is a little bit of a gap, which I really want it, right? So that's what so far I have. This is the pattern I followed. The bead caps are from the bead box. The roundel silver beads are also from the bead box, so as these gemstone beads. So it's a simple pattern, right? But it is an asymmetrical pattern. It's not a symmetrical pattern. It's not that you have to follow the asymmetrical pattern, but that kind of looks good to me. So this leather piece, which is an 8-inch piece, what I do is I just put that in, fold it into half. So I've done this type of a bracelet in my channel already, so that's why I just kind of, you know, went ahead with it. So fold it into half and make a overhand knot. You can also do a barrel knot, but overhand knot will do too. Barrel knot means you want these two to be off-sided a little bit. Okay, and then you take the bigger one, go over once and then twice, just like that, and take this and go through that. Okay, and then just pull everything close to your toggle. Okay, okay, just like that. That's a barrel knot. Don't worry about it. I will tell you guys one more time. And then you can just put a glue in it if you want to tighten it. And then you want to know how much is the length for your button. So that way I'm just going to do a regular knot at the end, because this is not off-sided, but you can also do a barrel knot. That means you take one, so this is the two leather cords, right? One is the top, the bottom. Take the top, bring it under the bottom one, go over once, and then you will have to go over twice, okay, towards the left hand side. Then take this, it's kind of pretty hard here, let's see. Take this and you will have to go through this loop. Okay, let me just put my pliers inside, and then you have to, let me just do it one more time. Okay, top cord, bottom cord. Take the bottom one, you can go over the top, or you can take the top one and go around this once. Okay, and then twice. The second loop will be towards the left. You make sure of that. Take this and insert it from the left to the right, from the side to the side. So if you're not able to, go ahead and use your pliers. Okay, and that's the knot. But before straightening the knot, you need to make sure your button fits through. So make sure your button fits through. So that's where you want the knot to be. So pull this, see this? If you tighten that knot, make sure before you tighten, you fit this inside. Yes, it is fitting. So now you can tighten that. Now you have two barrel knots. Okay, there we go. It just goes through just about right. You can also pull with your pliers, but don't pull it really hard, because you can break. This is genuine leather, right? So you can break it. So let's see if it still fits through. Yes, it does, and I really like the way this turned out to be. So I'm just going to cut my leather at an angle so that it looks nice, just like that. Okay, see, here we go. Our bracelet is almost done, but in order to, create more interest, you can create a couple of dangles here. So I have here some ball head pins. You can use any head pins you have available in your stash, and then take it, you can create some dangles. I picked out this red matte bead from the box, and then the same one but a smaller size. You can also use a bigger size, but aesthetically speaking, 3 dangles will be a nice option. So if you want to make a wrap loop, you can make a wrap loop, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. So this is a nice and thick so instead of doing this, what I can do is I can attach a so that's what I'm gonna do. I can attach a jump ring, and then add all the dangles. That would be really nice. So take my pliers and wrap it around, to make a nice wrapped loop. Just like so. Then snip off the excess wire. It's a nice and thick wire, so basic loop should be sufficient for this. Tuck the tail in. There we go. So I'm just going to grab a jump ring. So you can use any jump ring you want, but so I'm going to use this decorated jump ring that I have in my stash. Okay, first angle is done. The second one, it's gonna be this and maybe this. Or not. Maybe just two of these. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do here is just gonna bend this wire. Okay. Take my wire cutters and cut myself a loop. Cut myself a length wherein I can make a nice loop and make a loop, just a basic loop. Okay, one of the dangles is going to be that. The next one, it's gonna be this red one and this round. So just leave a little bit of a distance, okay, and just a tad bit of distance, and bend the wire so you can bend it nicely at 90 degrees and snip off the excess wire, and then take your round nose pliers, hold it at the edge and loop it around. Okay, now you open up this loop and okay, actually you don't have to open up this loop. Nicely close this loop. Now add this one, so make sure this loop is nice and closed so that it doesn't come off. Take the jump ring, add this, the blue bead, the center bead can be the longest bead, and this too, and our toggle. Okay, now hold it with your pliers and take your bent nose pliers. These are pretty chunky, so I'm going to use both the bent nose pliers to actually close them. Okay, there we go. I did. So this is how my bracelet turned out to be. How cool is that? I really like the way this turned out to be. If you guys like this tutorial, give it a thumbs up. It is pretty easy. I hope you guys like it. I do upload videos couple of times a week. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for stopping by, and thanks so much for sticking it until the end. There is a heart symbol in the bottom, and there is thanks written next to it. If you'd like to support my channel, click on that and you can donate as much as your heart feels like. Thank you so much. If you are inspired by this design and you make a bracelet yourself, share it in our Facebook group. I will leave down the description box below the link for our Facebook group. I would love to see your designs. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have a good day.